What are some low-cost tricks or hacks that will keep you, your food, and your water from freezing while winter camping? Stay tuned and find out. Hello friends, this is Jeremy with Midwest Backpacker. Hey, if you like backpacking, camping, outdoor adventure, and gear videos, that is what this channel is all about. And I invite you to hit that subscribe button. We are talking about winter camping. We are in a 4-part series. This is part 2. In part 1, I talked a little bit about 5 free things, 5 choices that you can make that will help keep you warm while winter camping. If you are interested in that video, I will put a link right up here in the cards. Of course, you need to have cold weather clothing and gear to help keep you warm while winter camping. But I am going to give you 5 free or 5 low-cost hacks that will help keep you, your water, and your food from freezing. Fill up a Nalgene bottle with boiling water right before you go to bed. Now you want to make sure that that thing is sealed good, is dry, and isn't leaking, because you are going to put this in your sleeping bag with you, and you want to make sure that that sleeping bag stays dry. But by putting this hot water bottle in your sleeping bag with you, it'll be just like a heating pad while you're falling asleep. And the secondary benefit is when you're sleeping with your water bottle inside of your sleeping bag, it will keep your water from freezing overnight. Number 2 is Reflectix. Reflectix, it's kind of like bubble wrap with foil on the outside. The main purpose of bubble wrap is people buy it, they wrap it around their hot water heaters, and it insulates it and helps them save energy. The way that you can use it when you go winter camping, there are 4 different ways that I can think of off the top of my head. If you have a sleeping pad that may not be insulated enough for the temperature that you're camping in, you can take a big piece of this and put it underneath your sleeping pad, and it'll serve as an extra insulator, where hopefully this foil is going to reflect the cold down. You have a little bit of insulation, and the foil on the top is going to reflect the heat back up towards your body. The second purpose is, that's actually what this piece is for, is I use it as a sit pad. You know, if you're sitting on the wet snow, this is waterproof. And again, that foil will hopefully keep the heat from your bottom from going down to the ground and coming back up and staying with your body. The third one, and you may have seen this, it's quite often used, is people make these little cozies. You can make this little cup that goes around your pot, or a lot of people, they make a little envelope. In the envelope, when you make a freeze-dried meal, you pour the water in, you put it inside the envelope, and while your food is rehydrating, it'll stay warmer from this insulation around it. Same thing with, you know, if you have a coffee cup or you're drinking hot chocolate out of a pot or soup, if you keep this around that pot, it'll keep the contents of the pot warmer longer. And the final purpose is when you are winter camping, you're trying to keep your water from freezing. And what I do is, this is 2 layers. What I do is I put my Nalgene bottle inside that first layer of Reflectix, and then I double it up with 2 layers of Reflectix. So you have twice as much insulation. And I actually, when it was minus 47 degrees and I was camping in the winter, I kept my water in this overnight and it didn't freeze. Number 3 is disposable heating pads. You may call them hand warmers. You've probably seen them in a gas station or wore them to like a cold football game. Stock up on these puppies. They don't take up that much room. They don't weigh that much. And, you know, you can find versions of these. These are only the 8-hour version. You can find ones that last 12 hours, 18 hours. You know, when it gets dark, crack that sucker open, warm them up, put them in your gloves, your mittens. They also make ones that are called toe warmers, and you can stick those right on your socks inside of your boots. You know, you can stick these things all over your body. I've even put these on the back of my cell phone to keep them warm when it was super cold. But stock up on these, use them. They're awesome. All right, it gets better than that. This may change your life. All right, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's freaking awesome. You ever heard of the Thermo-Wrap lower back and hip warmers? You may have seen them. They have them in pharmacies. They're mainly for guys with bad backs at home. They're just like these. You crack them up, activate them, and they stay warm for like 16 hours. I tell you, bro, you crack one of these open and they stick on you kind of like a belt. They wrap around on your lower back, in your kidneys, in your hip area, and oh my Lord. When it's freezing cold, you go to bed with that thing on and it is great. You can buy these. I think it's like $13 and 2 of them come in a box. And they're well worth the $7.50 for each one. And they will last all night and keep you warm and keep you comfortable in your sleeping bag. Okay, just a word of warning though, you want to be careful with these things. I know a guy that accidentally kept one of these with his sleeping bag and put it away in storage, and the next time he got it out, he had a big hole melted in his ultralight sleeping bag. These things get up to 160 degrees. So that was hot enough to burn right through that ultralight sleeping bag. So you want to keep careful with these, and you know there's all sorts of warnings to not put them directly against your skin, and you just want to be careful that you don't burn anything. Number 4 is burying your water bottle in the snow. I sleep in a hammock all winter long, and cuddling up to a water bottle in a hammock isn't very comfortable for me. You know, it just kind of gets in the way, and when I'm rolling over, it's hard and it's just uncomfortable. And if you don't have Reflectix to put your water bottle in, you can bury it in the snow. And the theory is snow is actually a really good insulator. You'll hear people up here worried about ice conditions. They go ice fishing, they walk out on the lakes, and if there's just a thin layer of ice and you get a bunch of snow, it insulates that thin ice from growing thicker. The snow insulates it and it just keeps it from getting thick. And it's the same thing with your water bottle. The snow will act as an insulator. So it won't work if the snow isn't very deep. But if it's a 1.5 foot deep or so, dig a hole, put it way down. And the key is bury your water bottle upside down. The reason why you want to bury it upside down is if it starts to freeze, the ice always starts on the top and works its way down. So if you have your water bottle upside down and you dig it out in the morning and it's partially frozen, you flip it over, the ice is on the bottom, you still have water on the top, and you can pour some water out, boil that water, and put the boiling water back in here, and it'll thaw out your water. And it works really well. Number 5 is to use small coolers like this to keep your food from freezing. One of the really nice parts about winter backpacking and winter camping is you can bring food that you usually couldn't bring in the summer because you'd be worried about them spoiling, like steak, eggs, soft cheeses, things like that. You can bring them in the winter, but when it gets really cold, you have to worry about that food freezing as well. So if you use a little cooler, it'll do just that. And it works really good. If the temperatures are only going to be in the upper 20s, this will work really good for a couple days. Now, if it's going to be cold, below 0, really the time that it's going to keep your food warm and keep it from freezing is going to be shorter. It'll definitely get you through until that next morning so you can fry up some eggs. Ooh. Fried eggs on a cold morning are really nice with some bacon. Ooh, bacon? Oh. Anyway, I'm distracted by bacon. These won't last real long if it's super cold unless you have a hot tent. You can warm that cooler back up. Or, you can try to put water bottles in there that are warm to keep it from freezing, but really that isn't that effective. So those are 5 hacks that will keep you, your food, and your water from freezing while winter camping. Next week in part 3, I'm going to tell you why winter camping is awesome. So go ahead, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification. They'll tell you when that video that's awesome comes out. Check out Midwest Backpacker on Instagram, on Facebook, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week when it will be awesome.